this video, we will understand various properties of definite integral. Before we start this topic, properties of definite integral, let us revise that what is definite integral. All of us know that a definite integral is an integral whose value is always definite, always constant, always fixed. So, okay, let us see. Suppose small fx is a function and its antiderivative is capital Fx. Okay, then integral fx dx from small a to small b will be obtained by this, equal to capital Fx square bracket and limits a to b. If we open it, it will give us fb minus fa. So it means first of all we have to put b here in place of x, and then we will put small a, and in between we will use negative sign. So this is how we get the value of definite integral. This capital Fx was antiderivative of small fx. I told you small a is called lower limit, small b is called upper limit, and this is representing the definite integral of function small fx with respect to x from limit a to b, and its result is fb minus fa. Let us understand this with the help of an example. Suppose we have integral x square dx and limits are suppose 2 to 3. Okay, so what will be the integral of x square? X cube upon 3. We will use a square bracket here and limits will be written here. Then you have to put 3 here in place of x. It means 3 cube upon 3, and then you will put 2 in place of x. So 2 cube upon 3. It means 27 upon 3 and 8 upon 3, which is 19 upon 3. So this is the definite integration of this. Okay, let us see one more example. After that example, we will come to the main topic, properties. Integral x square into e power x cube dx, limit 0 to 2. Okay, let us solve this. How will you find out its integration? To find out its integration, we will say let t is equal to x cube. It means we are modifying the variable. Our original question is in terms of x, but now we are converting this in terms of variable t. Let us do derivative. So dt is equal to 3x square dx. Implies that 1 upon 3 dt is equal to x square dx. One more thing which you have to remember, whenever you want to change the variables inside the integration, then you have to change the limits also, because these are the limits corresponding to the variable x. But when you want to change the variable in terms of t, you will have to change the limits also. So this is done in this way. When x equal to 0, implies that put 0 here, then t will be 0 cube, it means 0. And when x is equal to 2, implies that t is equal to 2 cube, it means 8. So our question becomes integral, the new limits are 0 to 8, x square and dx. These two things will be replaced by 1 upon 3 dt. So 1 upon 3 will go outside and dt will go at last. E as it is, and x cube has been taken as t, so e power t. Now what is the integration of e power t? We know that integration of e power t is e power t. Limits 0 to 8 equal to 1 upon 3 curly bracket e power 8 minus e power 0. After simplifying it, our answer will be e power 8 minus 1 upon 3. because e power 0 becomes 1. So e power 8 minus 1 upon 3, that will be the answer for this question. So we have revised the topic definite integral, but our main topic is today properties of definite integral. So first of all, I am writing all the properties of definite integral. After that, we will do their proofs one by one. Properties of definite integrals. Property number 1, integral a to b fx dx is equal to integral a to b ft dt. In this property there is nothing. We are simply changing the variable. In the left hand side you can see variable is x here, and in the right side variable is t, and there is no change otherwise. Limits are same, structure of function same, no change in the function. Okay, so everything is same except we have changed the variable. Property number 2, integral a to b fx dx is equal to minus integral b to a fx dx. In this property, what is happening? We are interchanging the limits. Lower limit and upper limits are being interchanged, due to which negative sign has been inserted outside. Property number 3, integral a to b fx dx is equal to integral a to c fx dx plus integral c to b fx dx. This property can be understood in a very easy way like this. Suppose some person wants to go from A to B, then he is going from A to C, and after that he is going from C to B. So he is splitting his journey. He had to go from A to B, then he went from A to C, then after that he went from C to B. So he reached his proper target. Okay, so if we have to do the integration from A to B, then we can split the integration in this way. Property number 4, integral a to b fx dx is equal to integral a to b f a plus b minus x dx. Property number 5, integral 0 to a fx dx integral 0 to a f a minus x dx. Now next two properties. Property number 6, integral minus a to a fx dx is equal to 2 integral 0 to a fx dx. So result of this integration is different under two cases. Its result may be this also, and its results may be 0 also, depending upon the situations. This result will be in this situation when f minus x is equal to fx, and we know that in this type of situation function is called even function. Similarly, its integration will be 0 when f minus x is equal to minus fx, and in this situation we call the function odd function. Even function, odd function. It is the situation of even function, it is the situation of odd function. So when the function is even, this integration becomes this, and when function is odd, this integration becomes 0. Last property, number 7, integral 0 to 2a fx dx equal to, it also has two different types of results, twice integral 0 to a fx dx and 0. This is the result when f2a minus x is equal to fx, and this is the result when f2a minus x is equal to minus fx. So these are the properties of definite integral. Now we will prove these properties one by one. So I am starting with property number 1. Proof of property number 1. What was the property number 1? It was integral a to b fx dx is equal to integral a to b ft dt. Left hand side, let I is equal to integral a to b fx dx. To prove this property, we have to simply put x equal to a. Put x equal to t. Put x equal to t. So dx is equal to dt. And as we are trying to change the variable, so we will have to change the limits also. When x equal to, what is the lower limit? A. Now put a here in place of x, then t will come a. Similarly, when x is equal to b, then t will be b. So these are the old limits. These are the limits according to value of x, and these are the limits according to value of t. So integration is equal to integral a to b. F in place of x we are putting t, and dx is equal to dt, and which is the right hand side. So this property is proved now. Second property. Property number 2. Property number 2 was integral a to b fx dx is equal to minus integral b to a fx dx. Left hand side, let integration equal to integral a to b fx dx. We are assuming one thing. Let antiderivative of fx is capital Fx. Okay, so we are assuming that antiderivative of small fx is capital Fx. So students, in the next step, its antiderivative will be written capital Fx, square bracket, and limits will come here. Let us open it. First put b, so fb and minus fa. If I take minus common from it, then minus common, and it will be reversed, fa minus fb. We can write it in the form of fx in this way. Fx inside, square bracket, a here and b here. Now capital Fx was the antiderivative of small fx, so I can say integral b to a small fx dx, and this is the right hand side of this property. So the second property is also proved. Property number 3. Our property number 3 was integral a to b fx dx is equal to integral a to c fx dx plus integral c to b fx dx. Now this time I am starting with right hand side. Let integration equal to integral a to c fx dx plus integral c to b fx dx. Again I am assuming let antiderivative of small fx is capital Fx. Let us apply it. Its antiderivative is capital Fx, bracket a to c, again fx and c to b. Open these square brackets. It will become fc minus fa. It will become fb minus fc. fc cancelled. So equal to fb minus fa. Now write down it in terms of fx. So fx inside, square bracket, a to b. Okay, and you can write it in the form of integral a to b small fx dx. So which is the left hand side? So our property number 3 is also proved. Now we are coming to property number 4. Property number 4 was integral a to b fx dx is equal to integral a to b f a plus b minus x dx. Left hand side, let I is equal to integral a to b fx dx. This time I am putting x is equal to a plus b minus t. Implies that dx equal to constant 0, derivative of constant is 0, derivative of this constant is also 0, so minus dt. Now we will change the limits. When x is equal to a, what is the lower limit? A. So put a here, so a and a cut, then you will get t equal to b. And similarly, when x is equal to b, you will get t equal to a. So our integration becomes integral. When x was a, t was b, so in place of a I am writing b, and similarly in place of b I am writing a. F, in place of x I have put a plus b minus t, and in place of dx what will come? Minus dt, so minus outside and dt here. Now we will use property number 2. In property number 2, I told you that which will change this sign and we will interchange these limits. So a to b and f a plus b minus t dt. Which property applied here? Property number 2 applied here. Now we will apply property number 1. In property number 1, we don't do any change except change in variable. So here variable is t. I will change this variable according to my requirement. I am changing it to x. So this is application of property number 1. And in this way, we have obtained the right hand side of property number 4. So this property is proved. Property number 5. Our property number 5 was integral 0 to a fx dx equal to integral 0 to a f a minus x dx. Let us see this. Left hand side, let I is equal to integral 0 to a fx dx. Put x is equal to a minus t, implies that dx is equal to minus dt. Now let us change limits. When x equal to 0, lower limit is 0, so if you take 0 here, then t will be a. And when x is equal to a, if you take a here, then t will be 0. So integration equal to integral, when x was 0, then t was a, and when x was a, t was 0. So limits are a to 0. F, in place of x, a minus t, and in place of dx, minus dt minus outside. Now we will apply property number 2. This sign will change and the limits will interchange. So 0 to a f a minus t dt. This is the use of property number 2. And now we will use property number 1. We will change the variable t into x. So integral 0 to a f a minus x dx. It is the use of property number 1. This is the right hand side of this property number 5. So property number 5 is proved. Property number 6. Property number 6. Integral minus a to a fx dx is equal to 2 integral 0 to a fx dx 0. This result is in the situation when f minus x equal to fx, and it is when f minus x is equal to minus fx. So we have to prove two results. This result in this situation and this result in this situation. So let us start with the left hand side. Left hand side is equal to minus a to a fx dx. Suppose I have to start from minus a and I have to reach at a. So I can do one thing. I will go to 0 from minus a and then from 0 to a. So I am breaking my journey. I have to go from minus a to a. So what I am doing? I am going from minus a to 0 and then 0 to a. So it means I want to say I am splitting this integration minus a to 0 fx dx and 0 to a fx dx. So which property I applied here? I have applied here property number 3. Now as you can see, in the right hand side of this property, this term is already present. This term is present in the right hand side. So we don't need anything to do in this. We will keep this term same throughout the solution. We have only to solve this part. So for this part I am doing one thing. Put x equal to minus t. I am putting minus t into this. This implies that dx is equal to minus dt. Let us change limits now. When x equal to 0, then t will be 0. Okay. If you are taking 0, then by taking 0, or you can do one thing. First to take minus a. When x equal to minus a and put minus a into this, so implies that t will be a. And when x equal to 0, then t will be 0. So our integration is equal to, at minus a t is a and at 0 t is 0. F in place of x, minus t taken, and dx is minus dt, so minus will go out and dt here. And in the second term, no change. So 0 to a fx dx. Now we will apply property number 2. By property number 2, these limits will interchange and this sign will change. So 0 to a f minus t dt, and no change in the second term. Which property I have used here? I have used property number 2. After this, I will use property number 1, and according to property number 1, what will happen? No change in this, except I will change the variable. All other things will remain same, only I will change the variable. So it means it will become 0 to a f minus x dx. Okay, and by using property 3, property number 1. Now after this, we will have to solve this under two different cases. Case first. When f minus x is equal to fx. From where this case is coming? You can see that in case first, f minus x was equal to fx. So integration equal to. Now in this step, you have to put value of f minus x, and the value of f minus x is fx. So integral 0 to a fx dx plus integral 0 to a fx dx. This term has been copied same. These two integrals are exactly same, so I can write down 2 integral 0 to a fx dx. So it means I have obtained the first result of this property. Okay, so I can say that property is proved for the first case. Now we will do the proof of second case. In second case, what is the condition given? That f minus x equal to minus fx. So if I put the value of f minus x here, then this value will be put, or minus can be written out, and these two terms will cancel each other, and the result will be 0. So our result for the second case is also proved. Now last property is left, property number 7. Let us do the proof of that property. Property number 7. Integral 0 to 2a fx dx is equal to 2 integral 0 to a fx dx and 0. In case first, result is twice of integral 0 to a fx dx. In second case, result is 0. Condition for the case first is f 2a minus x is equal to fx, and condition for the second case is f 2a minus x is equal to minus fx. Now let us do the proof of them. I am starting with the left hand side. 0 to 2a fx dx. I can split this integration from 0 to a fx dx and plus a to 2a fx dx. So what I did the integration from 0 to a in the continuation from a to 2a. So 0 to a to 2a, it means integration is equal to 0 to 2a. It is the use of property number 3 here. Now see that this term is present in the right hand side. So we have not to do anything with this term. We will keep these terms same throughout our calculation. We have to do the calculation in the second term only. So for this term, I am putting x is equal to 2a minus t. This implies that dx is equal to minus dt. Now let us change the limits. When x is equal to a, now put a into this, then you will get t equal to a. And when x is equal to 2a, put 2a here, then your t will be 0. So integral, no change in this, 0 to a fx dx, no change in this, plus integral, old limits, leave them, new limits are a to 0, f in place of x I will write down 2a minus t, and dx was minus dt, so minus will be taken out and dt will be taken at last, equal to integral 0 to a fx dx minus. Now let us apply property number 2. By that I will interchange the limits and I will change this sign. So plus integral 0 to a f 2a minus t and dt. We have used property number 2 here. Okay, now we will apply property number 1. So integral 0 to a fx dx, no change in this, plus integral 0 to a f 2a minus x dx, property number 1. After this we will proceed under 2 different cases. Case first. In case first, what condition is given to us? Condition is f 2a minus x is equal to fx. So put this value in this step here. So I is equal to integral 0 to a fx dx plus integral 0 to a fx dx. In place of f2a minus x, I put fx. These two terms are same, so twice of integral 0 to a fx dx proved. So you have proved the result of first part. In first case, the result is twice of integral 0 to a fx dx. We have obtained that result. Now second case is left. So in second case, f2a minus x is equal to minus fx. Okay. So if I put minus fx in place of this, then minus here, it means minus here, and these two terms will cancel each other and result will be 0 and our property will be completely proved. So students, we have proved all the properties of definite integral. These properties are very useful in solving many questions based on integration. I hope that you have understood all these properties and their proofs. And if there is any doubt or problem, you can write in the comment section. You are most welcome. Thank you.